Hello friends, let's start the meditation with divine guidance from Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji, Mavtar Babaji, Ramta Master and all the masters, with humble pranams to all the masters assembled from other dimensions, from earth, from the past, present and the future. Humble pranams to all of you. Thank you for contributing to this energy, beautiful energy. Let's start with the relaxation process. Please sit in a comfortable position. Close your eyes, clasp your hands, cross your legs, remove your spectacles. Let's start the Anapanasati meditation. First with relaxation and then followed by the actual meditation practice. Let's first relax the body. Forehead is relaxed. Neck is relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. At the out breath, please take a deep out breath, longer out breath. Hands are clasped and relaxed on the lap. Back is relaxed. Chest is relaxed. Stomach is relaxed. Hips are relaxed. Complete legs are completely relaxed. Both the legs are completely relaxed. Head to bottom, head to toe, the entire body is completely relaxed. Let's focus on each body part and repeat the relaxation exercise. Forehead is relaxed. The head region is relaxed. Neck is relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. Back is relaxed. Chest is relaxed. Stomach is relaxed. Hips are relaxed. Thighs, knees, calf muscles, ankles, feet, toe, sole. The entire portion is completely relaxed. From head to toe, the body is completely relaxed and relaxed and relaxed. You can continue with the relaxation process. Or let's move to the Anapanasati meditation. If your body is completely relaxed, observe your breath. Breathing is a natural process. Whether you focus it on breathing or no, breathing is naturally happening. So let's bring our conscious attention to the breathing that is going in and out of our nostrils. And keep the mind in one single position. If the mind gets distracted, gently bring it back to the breath. Hello, Masters. At the count of 5, please keep your hands, palms on your eyes and come back with a beautiful smile. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently open your eyes. Welcome to day 26 of Divine Design, friends. Wow, we've almost finished 26 days of Divine Design, and I hope you have been able to follow. And when you are asking questions. So it's a good thing that some of you are actually following with the book. Some of you are following through the recording. It's actually very good. But please do complete the book in whatever time and pace that you are wanting to do that. Don't leave this halfway. Okay. So now let's start. Okay, we'll start with 7.10. We finished the previous things, right? We'll start with the etheric body today. In 5D body, we have also seen what is the etheric body. The etheric body, actually, let me just stop this and share one more picture. I thought it would be nice and useful. Let me just share that just a minute. There is the image. Okay, I just wanted to show you this picture. Okay, do you see this? This human costume is becoming old and boring. So this meme. So basically, this is called the etheric body, and that small individualized soul, which is that portion, the quotient, right, that is attached to the physical body, is housed inside this etheric body. Okay, this is again a light body, right? This inside this, the subtle higher dimensional consciousness resides. Okay, so here he's basically removing the physical body and just moving out. Okay, so I'm just helping you understand what is the etheric body. So etheric body, through the etheric body only the HTC is getting connected. It needed a body that will house the light. Okay, so the etheric body is another component within the electrical grid system that is experienced differently for 3D humans. The etheric body, as stated in chapter 4, holds the higher dimensional consciousness within the human form. It is also the aspect of the human that energetically travels outside of the human body into other dimensional fields. So imagine that this white color cloudy thing, okay, just it's not actually a cloud, but then you can imagine that to be a cloud. You can just think that when it is connected to the human body, it is around the human body. Okay, it is basically the human body. It is human body sits on top of that kind of thing, like that layer that we spoke about. But now let's say the human body is asleep. Now what this etheric body will do is, etheric body doesn't have to sleep because it's not tired. Okay, only the human body is a physical body that needs rest, like our physical vehicles that needs to also be rest. Or let's say mixie can't be run for a long time, car cannot be run for a very long time, and all right, it needs rest. Otherwise the engine is going to get heated up, right? So for us also the engine will get heated up, so it needs to be charged in the night, like how electrical vehicles are charged in the night so that they can take it on the road the next day. No, similarly, even we have to be charged in the night. So while the body is getting charged, where the cell is getting charged or something like that, what will the human person do? Let's say if your cell is getting charged, what will you do? You will not use the cell. You will do something else. No. Similarly, if the body is getting charged, what this etheric body will do is it will go travel wherever it wants. The difference between the 5D etheric body and the 3D etheric body is, when we sleep now in the third dimensional space, when the etheric body travels, we will have who is traveling? The person who is aware is traveling, right? So, for example, if when I'm aware about things that are around me, it is not the body that has awareness. It is that the HTC that is within me that has the awareness. Okay. So when that awareness component goes off, what will happen? The human body, which is having everything, eyes, nose, everything is there. Prana is also there, which means life force is still breathing. Everything is still happening, but awareness is not there. Completely we are in sleep, right? So where did that awareness go? The awareness is now traveling. When the awareness is inside the physical body, you will see everything via the physical body. Now when the awareness is traveling outside somewhere and all that, awareness is in the etheric level. So awareness is now traveling everywhere. It goes to other higher dimensions, and then all of that happens. It astral travel. That is what is called astral traveling. So that is what is called astral traveling. Okay. So now in the 5D, actually what used to happen, even if the physical body sleeps, right? When the 5D human, whether it sleeps or it doesn't sleep, the 3D human, the 5D etheric body could travel to any part of the 12D. Okay. He was aware, even while in the human body itself, the etheric body could basically travel wherever it wants. Okay. That possibility was there. Because many people, right, they are capable of astral traveling very, very consciously. That's a higher dimensional, that's a, what do you say, siddhi kind of thing, which means they are able, they've attained the physical maturity, the spiritual maturity to get to that level. But in 3D, that needs to be, that will come only with higher frequencies. Okay. The body is at a higher frequency. So, but here they are not able to understand, or they are not able to remember, because it's very energetically very dense. The 3D human conscious mind is very energetically dense. So that's why it doesn't remember, because even if that awareness comes back, that awareness has all the memory and all of those things. It remembers where it went and all that. But the amount of information is so subtle that this dense body will not be able to catch it. Okay. The 5D human was the 5D human was consciously connected to the etheric body and could travel interdimensionally at any time. The 3D human body is holding more density than the 5D body. The density creates a barrier between the 3D human and the etheric body. You can see barrier as a veil of ignorance. Okay, a veil of ignorance is also called a barrier. What is it? Ignorance, amnesia that comes with denseness. Okay, so that is called also barrier. This barrier makes it almost impossible for the human to remember that there is an etheric body within its form and can travel interdimensionally. The 3D human's etheric body will do most of its traveling in the dream state. During this state, the etheric body energetically departs the physical body and travels into other dimensions. So here, when that astral body travels like that, there is still that connection with the physical body. Because otherwise, if it leaves the connection and go, the physical body will die. Okay. So that is why that connection is still intact. Although it is traveling wherever it wants, that connection is still supplying prana. The dream state is very active state for the etheric body. The 3D human rarely remembers anything that occurs due to a lot of, there is a lot that the human form, rarely remembers anything that occurs. However, there is a lot that the human form and the human receive during the sleep state. They experience upgrades, healings, activations, remembrances, teachings, and more. As soon as the body is holding higher frequencies, the human begins to connect into the electrical grid. They naturally begin to remember they have an etheric body, and that body allows them to consciously travel interdimensionally if they choose. If they will begin to remember what is occurring in the dream state, and they will also begin to travel interdimensionally in the waking state, which means the physical body will be here, but the awareness is at the conscious level. Okay, that then they'll be consciously aware of where all they are traveling. The density of the human form, the density of the third dimensional field, and the way in which the human experiences and processes 3D consciousness all result in a very different experience for the 3D human. The human has a very difficult time connecting to that channel to receive guidance from their higher self. Okay, this is all a summary. They remain disconnected from the source and their consciousness. See, which means there is no conscious connection with the higher self. But higher self is doing its work of sending information and all of those things via, and we treat that as intuition. It means that we don't know from where it is coming from, but it is coming from somewhere. If you tap into that information, that set of thoughts that are coming, it is coming from there. They remain disconnected from the source and their consciousness and their own consciousness. The human experiences trauma, and that trauma becomes stored in the human body. The energy centers begin to slow down and eventually may stop spinning. The body has a potential to create illness and disease, which means in 5D there is no illness and disease at all because there is no ignorance. Wherever there is ignorance, there is illness and disease. It is inevitable that 3D human will have much more difficult time connecting to the energetic grid and receiving the benefits we designed from the grid to offer the human. We knew we couldn't change the density of the human form or the dense 3D field the human would be experienced. What we could was to ensure that the 3D human could exist, function, and evolve into higher dimensional realms. And that is what we did through the design of the 3D human body. So why did they design the 3D human body? So that the 3D human form could exist in the 3D field and also evolve to higher dimensional realms. So that is how the 3D human body is designed. 5D human body was not designed for 3D. So that is why they scrapped it and then they started again. Okay, chapter 8. Now they are going to be starting a new chapter called the beginning of the light worker, and who is a light worker and all that we saw, right? When they spoke about the fall and they gave an option to the 5D humans, they said you can come as a light worker, right? They said you can work for Earth and all of that. So 8.1, incarnating into the 3D human form. Once the Earth and the human form had been redesigned and anchored into the 3D field, we could begin to allow HTCs to incarnate into physical form. So now again they are calling. Prior to incarnating, all HTCs had to agree to the laws that we had designed for the 3D field. Remember this, there were some laws that you will have amnesia, this, that, and all that. They entered the human form with a choice, free will, and an intention as either a light worker or as a volunteer. Volunteer means somebody who's going to who's here for experiencing 3D. They're just going to focus on their plan, their evolution and their plan, their experience of 3D. But a light worker is the one who's going to dedicate the incarnation for his plan will be such that all his work and everything that is involved will be contributing to Earth's light, increase in light. They created their Akashic record. They understood the dimensional shift down and the destiny they would be held in. All HTCs incarnating understood how the human form and the Earth plane worked. They courageously chose to move their light into physical form and experienced a state of amnesia indefinitely. Okay, these HTCs that came here, okay, there was no guarantee that they'll be able to go back to their higher states consciously. And when they'll go back also, there was no guarantee. It depended on how they navigated that. Imagine that you are now in an Amazon rainforest or something like that, and then you just left people into the Amazon rainforest. You don't know whether you're going to return back alive, when you're going to come, how you will find your way out of the forest. You don't know anything. But you just went on that expedition and you said, okay, this is like, let's say, 500 acre, or maybe not 500 acres, maybe thousands and thousands of acres of land. And it is a dense forest. And there is absolutely you don't have any idea also. You know that these laws and all operate like this, but you have no clue how you will survive in this plane, when you will come out, because if you have that emotions and all of those things, they explained about all that, right? The emotional body, mental body, all that they know. And they also spoke about amnesia. They said you won't remember. You won't even have high connection to your higher self. You won't be able to even hear your higher self. And you will not have even connection to the 12D grid, which means from wherever you are, maybe let's say they are also from some star system or something, they'll not go back to their star system literally for like millions of years, millions of linear years. So the people who had to come here had to be extremely courageous and extremely daring to actually go through this. Okay, we all are a part of that. I mean, it's very, I mean, we find so many people on earth, right? And it's fine, and we find it very hard to believe that all of us are so courageous. We are. This was one of the most exciting and courageous opportunities for consciousnesses, and we were honored to be able to assist this. So sometimes when you look at people like going through all this really daring acts, no, you will sort of melt in front of them, and you'll say, oh my God, I will do anything for them to be able to do this, right? So that kind of feeling all of the GFOL had. Volunteer and light worker. There were two types of humans who would be participating in the 3D. Earth, volunteers and light workers. When Earth was in the 5D field, all HTCs entering the physical forms were participating as volunteers. Volunteers enter a form for the sole purpose of experiencing physicality and shifting into HT, higher dimensional fields without physicality. So within physicality. Earth was holding a higher frequency that she did not need assistance from the human forms to shift into 60 or 70 field. Okay, Munmun I was asking, right? Then also people were assisting. Now also people were assisting, something like that. She had asked a question. So she did not need assistance. It was all mutual at that time. She was also experiencing. We were also experiencing. Everybody was in an aware state. There was no, what do you say, complexity at all. But now it is changing. The light worker. The Earth was now vibrating in a third dimensional frequency. We knew she would need assistance in shifting back to 5D. We knew we could use the human body to assist the Earth based on what we had witnessed for billions of years. We see, what did they say? What did they see as a part of 5D fall? They saw many humans shifted from 5D to 4D, 4D to 3D out of their own will, free will, curiosity, free will, whatever you want to call it, they dropped. As they started dropping, the Earth frequency also dropped, and they realized that there was a connection, because how much ever light was on her due to human beings, that actually contributed to Earth, whether she had to be in 5D. If everybody was in 5D and majority contribution was coming at a 5D level, she'll be in 5D. If majority is coming from a 3D level, she'll be in 3D. So they saw a connection, right? So that's why now they are actually thinking of using that connection. The human form was able to shift Earth and humanity down into lower dimensional field. We recognize the powerful relationship between the human energetic frequency and the Earth's energetic frequency. If the human body could shift the Earth and humanity from 5D to 3D, then we knew that the human body could assist the shifting of Earth from humanity back into 5D. The human physical form would be crucial in the evolution of Earth and humanity. This was the beginning of the light worker. Higher dimensional consciousness could now choose to incarnate into the human form and assist this Earth and humanity into evolving back into the 5D. So they are called light workers because they are going to be working for the light. The volunteer. All higher dimensional consciousness within the 12D grid that simply wished to experience Earth's physicality and the 3D field would incarnate onto the Earth plane in human forms as volunteers. The volunteer would not hold the role of assisting and increasing the human collective frequency. They would simply experience the human journey. Choosing to be a light worker required a very different experience on the new 3D Earth, with the underlying task at hand because of this most most HTCs at this time chose to incarnate as a volunteer, because nobody wanted to incarnate, not too much people wanted to incarnate as a light worker, because they didn't know how 3D even worked in the first place, right? So initially, most of them incarnated as volunteers. The first call for light workers. It was at this point, in the Earth's history, approximately 15,000 linear years ago, we sent out the first call for light workers. A call is an energetic pulse that moves out into the quantum field holding an intention. We sent a vibrational pulse out to the HTCs within and outside the 12D, offering an opportunity to assist Earth and humanity in evolving back to 5D. We opened the 12D grid to allow the HTCs outside the grid to participate. This was first and only time we opened the 12D since she began as a 5D form millions of years ago. The call was sent out, HTC entered the grid, and we closed the grid. This happened in a single moment within the quantum field. The higher dimensional consciousnesses that entered the 12D grid during this call had never experienced Earth before. So many people came from outside the 12D and they had not even experienced Earth. They entered the grid and moved into consciousness or collective light systems, similar to what occurred when we initially opened the 12D. So collective light systems means stars and all of those things. They basically entered groups. They went into groups and formed into collectives. If they came from a consciousness or collective system that was already within the grid, they would enter that system. If they were a new consciousness to the 12D grid, they would hold themselves within the new light system. So if they were already people who were let's say some group of people who had already come, but would you say that they had all grouped together in a star system or something like that, that person would go again to that system only. But then if they are entirely new, then they formed a new light system. For instance, there were Syrians that had been existing outside the 12D grid who chose to come in and participate when we sent out the call. They entered the grid and moved their consciousness into the collective system called the Syrian light system. However, there were many HTCs, new HTCs, that came into the 12D grid at this time to assist Earth, including the Antares system and the Avians. We had thousands of higher dimensional consciousnesses ready to participate as light workers. Many had never incarnated into human and many had experienced the human form in 5D. Many had never incarnated into the human, and many had experienced the human form in 5D. So some people had not and some people had. What was unique about all these HTCs is that they were all incarnating for the sole purpose of assisting Earth. Okay, so many people were very, very conscious of assisting Earth because there's so much of love in their heart. So at higher dimensional consciousnesses, they are all mostly into love, so they assist each other. Two groups of light workers. There were two groups of light workers that assisted during the first call we sent out. Each played a unique role. The HTCs chose one of the two groups to participate in when they incarnated. So they had two options. You can go into this group, or you can go into this kind of a light worker or that kind of a light worker. Let's see what kind of light workers there were. Group 1. The first group of light workers would simply be anchoring higher frequency light into human form. Their human body would be an extremely potent conduit of light. Their blueprints were less about work and more about anchoring and holding light in the human form. More HTCs that intended to play this role had just entered the 12D grid when we sent out the call. They had never experienced Earth in the 5D and had never been in a human form. The HTCs that chose this type of light work played a significant role in shifting Earth 3D into higher frequencies. Currently on Earth, only a small percentage of these light workers are incarnated into human form. The majority are assisting from off the planet. So basically what they're doing is, here, the first group of light workers, they are coming in and they won't be special people. They won't be playing special roles. They are not even going to be they won't even look like a highlight. Maybe a beggar, maybe even common man, those kinds of people. All that they are doing is they are all higher dimensional consciousnesses and they are comparatively they are able to vibrate at a higher vibration. Okay, so they were just anchoring the light. They are not participating in the mundane of the society, emotional and all of those things. They are not participating and getting caught up in this whole thing. So they are only anchoring that light into the 3D. So collectively, they'll be contributing to a higher energy, which means their physical bodies will already be vibrating at a higher frequencies. Group 2. The second group of light workers had a more hands-on role. They would be working with the human and earth through physical abilities, skills, or tools. They may choose to teach, heal, communicate, or educate either through their own voice or through art, music, or natural elements. There are many different ways the second group could choose to assist the human journey. All HTCs choosing this type of light work had existed within the 12D since the Earth began in the 5D millions of years ago. Most of these light workers had experienced themselves as 5D humans and were on Earth plane when we cleared us. So, sort of, they knew how Earth worked, and they had already lived their life in the 5D plane, so they knew exactly how to continue this and all of those things. Currently on Earth, most of these light workers are incarnated into human forms. They have experienced more human lives than any other light worker in both 5D and 3D fields. They would be what many humans consider old souls. The role the HTCs choose for their light work is encoded into their blueprint as a part of their Akashic record and held within the human's DNA. The blueprint can be accessed at any now moment by the human. How and when they will access this blueprint depends on what they created within their Akashic record to experience in their lifetime. Therefore, many humans feel if they have a purpose for being on the earth plane, but it hasn't shown to them yet, it is within their DNA. Okay, it is within their DNA, which is why it does not, whether it depends on whether everything is a part of the DNA and it is a part of the plan. Sometimes you may not know your purpose, but you'll actually be a teacher in some form or something. So even if you have not able to access your Akashic records, for a purpose, you have not chosen to access your Akashic records. If you have a role, the Akashic record is going to play a role in your conscious evolution, then you will have a experience to say, okay, I'm going to go through this teaching where somebody is going to be a teacher, and then I'm going to learn about how to access my Akashic records, and then through reading of my Akashic records, I'm going to also rather navigate my rest of the life. But if that is not happening, then anyway Akashic record blueprints are naturally getting activated in the background, and HS is anyway seeing that and helping you and all that. So whether you know or whether you don't know, it's anyway happening. If they do not complete their blueprint in a lifetime, they can choose to incarnate again with the same blueprint, choose a new blueprint, or no longer incarnate. It is always a choice to incarnate whether the higher dimensional consciousness completes their blueprint or not. The impact of the light worker. Earth and the human form were holding a frequency of 3.0 when the hundreds of thousands of light workers began incarnating onto the earth plane. Earth's intention for humanity and herself to shift into 5.0 frequency. A 3.0 is a very dense frequency. I don't know why they call it 3.0. Maybe it was 3D. A 3D frequency is very dense. The HTCs knew they would most likely remain in amnesia while in the human body until the earth and human form were holding higher frequency. Therefore, in the beginning, most of the HTCs incarnating as light workers chose group 1 to just hold and anchor as much light as possible in their bodies. The more the light the humans anchored onto the earth, the easier it would be for the earth to shift into higher frequencies. This blueprint did not require the human to wake up out of amnesia. The human could perform their work in an unconscious state because the higher self was connected to the blueprint and the physical body was connected to the higher self. So here, I think it was more a conscious effort of just being there. There was nothing like you're participating in the 3D or something, right? So you're just here contributing. So something like a tree, right? It was more like that. It was the human form. It was a human body that was essentially doing the work. The body knew how to anchor the light through the assistance of the higher self. It did not need a conscious human to perform this task. An unconscious human could live in a very normal life as an unconscious light worker and still shift Earth's frequency. It was easiest way to make the fastest impact on Earth while Earth was still in a very dense frequency. Okay, here what they are saying is the human could perform their work in an unconscious state because the higher self was connected to the blueprint and the physical body was connected to the higher self. So there was some amount of connection, but the body, there was so much, the awareness was very much 3D, but that awareness, there was no need for higher state of awareness to understand whatever the higher self was doing with the physical body. It was the human body that was essentially doing the work. The body knew how to anchor the light through the assistance of the higher self. It did not need a conscious human to perform this task. An unconscious human could live a very normal life as an unconscious light worker and still shift Earth frequencies. It was the easiest way to make the fastest impact while Earth was still in a very dense frequency. It took thousands of years and hundreds and thousands of light workers simply anchoring light through their bodies to slowly shift the Earth's and human collective from 3.0 to 3.1. For the sake of this book, we will use linear numbers to describe Earth's energetic shift. However, please know that the energy cannot be measured, it can only be felt. The human form was so dense that it could only anchor at a very small amount of light into the body. It was a slow process, right? Also because the body, that quotient that was connected was a small number, right? So now let's say if you're a volunteer or something like that, everybody's quotient is the same. But the thing is, you'll also be participating in all these things and you'll also drain your energies here and there and all that. No, so there is no, you'll be more like a variable. But these people that they were speaking about from group 1, they are more like constants. They'll be like probably hidden away from the main area where maybe in some forest there'll be one cowherd or something like that, where he's just doing his work day in and day out, same routine. So there is not much of a complex life, but they are just there to anchor light wherever they are. The human form was so dense that it could only anchor a very small amount of light into a body. It was a slow process. However, as Earth and the human form began to increase their frequency, it became easier and faster to shift into next highest frequency. It took around 3,000 years to shift from 3.0 to 3.1 and only around 1,000 years to shift from 3.1 to 3.2. Because as the frequency increases, they'll be able to, you can imagine that they are slightly faster than 3.0. 3.11 frequency is faster than 3.0 frequency. So they'll be able to grasp faster, contribute faster, and all of those things. Although there were two types of light workers at this time due to density of Earth and human collective, it was the light workers anchoring the light that made the most impact for the first 6,000 years. As the frequencies began to increase on Earth and the human collective, both types of light workers began to play an equal and significant roles. Because for the second type, when they come in as creative people, teachers, healers, and all that, there is a story in their life, right? They have to learn whatever they are doing, and then they have to contribute. So there's a lot of up and down. So first few years, only these first group 1 people participated, or rather contributed. The first call that was sent out around 15,000 linear years ago brought in some of the most impactful light workers we have ever seen. For 10,000 years, they were able to pull the Earth and humanity from 3.0 to 3.6 in the frequency and moves Earth's light quotient from 1 to 48%. They did a tremendous amount of work in a very short period of linear time. If you are one of those light workers, and many of you reading this are, we applaud you and commend you on your diligence, commitment, and love for the mission, Earth and humanity. Wow. I mean, they say, right? Many of you are reading this, and many of you, if you are one of those light workers, and many of you are reading this, They are very sure. They're saying people who come to read the Divine Design book are light workers. Many of you reading this are. Okay, now we'll go to the next chapter. We still have about half an hour. Chapter 9, the opening of the Earth's fifth dimensional grid. Approximately 10,000 linear years into the Earth's evolutionary process, Earth and humanity went through one of the most devastating and intense times in the 3D history. Okay? Many difficult events and experiences unfolded that lasted around the 1920s, our 1920s. Okay? If you remember, one of the universal laws states that when Earth holds 50% of her light quotient, it is impossible for her to shift down into lower frequencies or low light quotient. Earth would be on a trajectory into the 5D regardless of what is occurring on her physical form. This is an important universal law. Until she reached 50% of her light quotient, if Earth is being pulled down into lower frequencies, we are not able to interfere. Free will allow for anything to occur on Earth plane. Earth and we have to allow everything to play out regardless of the consequences. So until she's 50%, people, the frequency, collective frequency of people can pull her down or keep her up. And see who has come to Earth. Everybody who has goodwill for Earth only has actually come. But despite that, because of amnesia, they forget their loyalty to Earth, and then they only pull her down. They only means for whatever reason their energies goes down, and then they only pull her down. The only way we can interfere is if Earth asks for our assistance, and that assistance does not interfere with the free will on the Earth plane. She can co-create any reality with our federation as long as it allows for free will. Okay, so she says that first of all she has to ask for help. So unless she asks for help, they cannot go and then interfere in her life, interfere in her journey. Secondly, even if they help, it should not interfere with the free will on the Earth plane. So which means people who are on the Earth plane, they have free will, right? So we cannot interfere. And of course, people on the Earth plane they have amnesia, so they can't actually ask for help or not ask for help. So it will technically become interference only. Around 5,000 linear years ago, Earth sent out her first and only request. It was an energetic pulse that held the intention of shifting her light quotient to 50%. In that moment, her light quotient was about 47 to 48%. She knew the impact of holding 50% of her light would have on her evolution. She knew she was close and she wanted to be energetically pushed into 50%. She was requesting that we open the 5D grid to allow HTCs to collect and collective consciousness to physically enter the Earth plane to assisting her in shifting her light quotient. This means allowing them to physically be on Earth with humans and non-humans. She knew that physical impact could potentially increase her light to 50% as well as increase her frequency of the human collective. We knew we had to honor her request. Unfortunately, what occurred through this one simple intention created the most destructive times in your history. So what they're saying is, she's first time light workers came and then she went up a little, 47 to 48% she went up. Now she's saying, okay, I bring in some more people so that I can increase my light to 50% and I can go forward. If that had to happen, they had to again open the grid. They had to open that 5D grid again to allow for people to come in. So because she asked, they could not say no, right? So they allowed, and they're saying this time it was very unfortunate. The 12D grid. Before we begin, let's briefly review the 12D grid around the entire Earth's experiment. This grid protects Earth's entire experiment and Earth herself. All the HTCs that agreed millions of years ago to participate in Earth's experiment are held within the 12D grid. Once a consciousness enters the 12D grid, they have free will, and with regard to how they want to experience themselves in the grid. They can volunteer on the Earth plane as a volunteer or a light worker. They can assist off planet within their collective consciousness. For example, they can be moon, sun, stars, and those kinds of things. They can move through many different dimensional fields and explore other consciousnesses within the 12D grid. or they can exit the grid at any time. Once they exit the grid, they cannot re-enter unless we reopen the 12D grid. So we don't know, there is no guarantee when they're going to reopen the grid, right? So people basically lived, they started to continue to be here endlessly, even though they had not yet decided to go into Earth. Within the 12D grid is the fifth dimensional grid around the Earth. To participate on the Earth plane, all beings must move through the 5D grid again. So second boundary. First one was the 12D grid. For that created a boundary for people outside the 12D grid to participate and come into the 12D grid. First intention is you should be able to participate in the Earth's experiment. If they say yes, then they'll come inside, but they may not want to incarnate immediately onto the Earth plane. They may want to watch what is happening on the Earth before they actually decide to enter. So then they'll watch from outside the 5D grid. When was this 5D grid created? When that 3D thing happened, no? When the 3D thing fall and all happened, they created that 5D grid, no? So they'll be outside, but they'll be watching. Okay, so that is the first level. Second level is this 5D grid, which was created to stop the 4D races from entering. Okay, so there are two levels, so you should remember. Two, you can say two security doors of whatever you want to call it, boundaries. There are thousands of collectives that existed within the 12D grid that had been energetically assisting Earth and humanity off planet. Earth was requesting physical assistance from these higher dimensional consciousnesses, both individual beings and collectives within the 12D grid. Some familiar collectives and beings are the Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Lyrans, Orions, Cassiopeians, Andromedans. There are many, many more. So all of these people are in the 12D grid, but not necessarily inside the Earth plane. There are many who are also incarnated here from all of these star systems, from all of these collective systems. Some are not there, some are there, and all that. Energetic assistance. Prior to us opening the 5D grid, all assistance from the HTC, all assistance from the higher dimensional beings and the collective consciousness were energetic. They would assist by energetically connecting to the human form and Earth plane from a higher dimensional realm within the 12D grid. All interaction and communication with between these consciousnesses and humanity was through free will and intent. The human or the Earth had to agree and intend for any connection to occur. For example, let's say if you say, Sirians, I'm intending to connect to you, I'm open to connecting to you, please come and help me, kind of thing. So then you're asking for connection, no? So then they'll come and help you. Because free will is so strong that they won't be able to interfere, even though, let's say you may say, I love to work with Sirians, I love to work with Sirians. But then you're actually wishing you're just expressing a desire, but it is not necessary that you're asking them. So for asking, you need to literally ask, please come and help me, I want to talk to you, kind of thing. All interactions and communications between these things was through free will and intent. The human or Earth had to agree and intend for any connection to occur. All higher dimensional beings and collective consciousnesses followed free will. They could not assist unless the human or the Earth requested it. Connection with the Earth was through her energetic field. The Earth was always conscious of the connection and assistance and was able to integrate the energetic assistance quickly into her form, into her human form. What does this mean? The Earth was always conscious of the connection and assistance and was able to integrate the energetic assistance quickly into her human form. Not sure what this means. Let me see. Okay, connecting with the human. Okay, maybe they had to go through the Earth's grid to connect to the human. Okay. Connection with the human was through the human's energetic field, interdimensional travel, or the dream state. Okay, that is the only way they could connect to the human's energetic field when he was not connected to, when the awareness was not inside the body. When the awareness is inside the body and then they can connect also, even in that state, means the body has to be vibrating in higher consciousness. higher vibrational field, which means higher frequency. If the body is not vibrating in a higher frequency, then they cannot connect to that body or awareness through when the body is awake. So it had to be when the body is sleeping. So through interdimensional travel or dream state, the human was either conscious or unconscious of the connection and communication with the HTCs, higher dimensional beings and collectives. In a conscious human, the information would be received and integrated to upgrade their life. A human who was unconscious of the energetic connection assistance had much more difficult time receiving, integrating, and upgrading their life. Conscious connection. Conscious connection requires the human to intend and participate with the higher dimensional beings and collectives. Okay, this is what I was talking about. They have to intend. I want to take their help, kind of thing. The human invites the being or the collective into their awareness. The higher dimensional being or collective, first of all, you should know that such people exist, no? So let's say you first know that they exist, then getting them into the awareness. The HTC, the higher dimensional being or collective, energetically receives their intention. They then move their energy into the human field, such as in a specific room, office, or home. Once the being or collective enters the human space, the interaction begins. Many people do that, and there are so many books also been written where they channeled Pleiadians, they channeled Sirians, and so many things have actually happened. The humans can consciously interact and communicate with the higher dimensional beings and collectives through the human's channel or through their energetic field. It is not like you're speaking English to them or something. You are when it is more visuals, it is more energy-based communication. The human channel is an energetic field inside the human form, right? That human channel that we spoke about, that is designed to move energy in and out of the human body. The human connects and communicates with the higher dimensional being or collectives through the channel by pulling the energetic message from the beings. The chakra system will pull the message. And before it pulls, what will happen? It will come through your emotional body, this body, that body, all that. It will come and then it will enter the chakra. Okay? It will pull the energetic message from the beings of consciousness through and into the channel. Once the energy is in the channel, the human translates the energy into information such as words, feelings, visions, or sounds. The human's energetic field is another way they consciously connect and communicate with the higher dimensional beings or collective. The energetic field extends about 18 inches out of the human and creates a 360 degrees circle around the body. It allows the human to connect and feel all energies around them. If the human uses their energetic field to connect and communicate, they will feel into the energy of the being or consciousness around them and pull the energy through the energetic field and into the human body. So they say that since we have an energetic field like this around us, 18 inches from around us, okay, from here there is an 18 inches around us. So when somebody comes into that space, within that 18 inches, so somebody is like close, if somebody's standing next to me like this, apparently I will know. Okay, if I'm in that state of level. It allows for the human and feel all their energies around them. If the human uses their energetic field to communicate and connect, they will feel into the energy of the being and they will pull it. They will again, when they are there, see, the very presence of them being here will give you some information. Then you will receive it into your channel and say, oh, somebody is standing next to me. How did you get that? Because you put that information, that energy into words, feelings. I feel that there is somebody next to me. I think I saw a vision of a blue body, or I felt that I heard a sound, something or the other, right? You're basically translating that into whatever you understand. And you will translate that into words, images, sounds, or emotions. Using the energetic field as the communication tool is much more physical and palpable than using the human channel as a tool to communicate. So first, it is best that things travel from the energetic field and it comes in, and then the channel is able to receive it and translate it. The channel is a funnel whereas the energetic field and the entire body, the channel is a funnel, whereas the energetic field is the entire physical body. What is this? The channel is a funnel, whereas the energetic field is the entire physical body feeling the energy. See, feeling is not a part of the physical body. Okay. Your physical body feels the feeling, but the feeling is actually not coming from the physical body. Physical body is only expressing that feeling through maybe some goosebumps, or you're feeling very happy. Something is being expressed out of the body, right? So that is called feeling the energy. Okay, fine. We will stop here, or we will read unconscious connection. Unconscious connection. Okay, we'll read this. Unconscious connection. It becomes very challenging for the human to receive information and guidance if they are unconscious. The human is unaware of the higher dimensional being or collective. Any guidance received will come through their higher self or in a dream state through their etheric body. Most unconscious humans are also unaware of the higher self. So the guidance must be loud enough for the human so that he can't ignore it. The higher self brings the guidance in from the higher dimensional beings or collectives through the human channel. The human unconsciously receives the information as a voice in their head or as an intuition. Many times the human will hear that voice and either ignore it or mistake it for the ego. If the human is not aware there are higher dimensional beings and collectives or a higher self, they will assume the guidance or information is from their ego and mind. The dream state is another way the unconscious human connects to the HDBs and collectives. The human dream state is where the etheric body exits the physical form and travels into higher dimensional realms. This is also known as astral travels. During the dream state, the etheric body experiences many higher dimensional fields, allowing the human to unconsciously connect, engage, receive, and learn from these higher dimensional beings or collectives. Okay? Yeah. Let me stop here. Okay. Let me open the thing for questions. Any questions? Yeah, Nidhi? You can unmute yourself.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, ma'am, so basically, like, if we start like the higher consciousness, the 5D HDCs, they came to Earth in the form of trees, animals, or like minerals to like whatever. So like it is said that we humans take a lot of lives. Earlier we were in the form of minerals, then we came in the form of trees, then animals, and then we became humans. So as and how we are increasing our awareness or consciousness, so the process is like mineral kingdom, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, and then human kingdom. So ma'am, how does this fit here, ma'am? Like if we are just coming here as per the divine design, if we are only coming here to just experience ourselves in the form of animals or trees, or to raise the consciousness of the earth, then how come like slowly and slowly we are evolving from minerals to plants to animals and to humans, ma'am? How does
See, this portion that you're talking about is not very restricted to 3D or 5D.
Achha.
When this Earth experiment began itself, we have done all that. To experiment, to understand the way of living on Earth, we have done all that. And as when 3D happened, it was more a human specific experience. But before we became human, we have created animals, we have created flowers, we have created trees and all that, and we have basically lived in those also to understand how it feels like.
So that
And we
is
have lived
in
in rocks and all. Before everything happened only, because now there is no point in living like all of those kinds of things. Those are anyway there because it's a part of existence. But now the 3D's focus was majorly different. So here it had to be human only. But if there is a volunteer who has come from outside of 12D and he says, it's okay, I want to just experience the life of a lion, maybe he will do that. But as a light worker and all of those people, they are majorly into focusing as being human beings only. But because they see this here they said, right, people who came in group 2 of light workers, where they said not anchoring light, but also participating in this, like interacting and all of that. So those people have already lived here, they've already seen the experiment, they've been here, they've done it. So those people are comfortable in this living, so they took that step of interacting light worker. But those people who were not very sure of how it's going to turn out because it's a new experience and all that, but they intended to participate and help her, they took the group 1 where they just anchored themselves and they were nobody in this whole situation. Like they had no significant role to play. They were just some mundane, let's say, cowherd kind of people. So whether they existed or no really did not matter in the whole big scheme of things. But they were constantly anchoring light.
So, ma'am, does each and every soul has to go through from mineral kingdom to animal kingdom to plant kingdom, whether in 5D, maybe earlier? Is it so, ma'am? Or like...
See, everybody wants to experience Earth, right? So they want to experience every part of Earth, everything in Earth.
Everything. Okay.
It's like when you say, let's say I'm coming newly, and when you'll maybe you've already done it, and you'll say, it's okay, Smita, don't go into rocks. Okay, it's very boring. You just have to stay there for a long time. But then I did plants. Okay, sometime later it was actually I was moving like this. But then plants also became boring. I went to animals, and then this was my life. So what I would advise is don't go into rocks also, plants also, don't go into animals also, go directly into human being. Do you think I'll agree? They'll say your experience is different, my experience is different. When I'll go see, maybe I'll find it interesting. So everybody wants the experience. So I'm sure everybody goes through that cycle, maybe shorter cycle or something like that. Because there is no evolution in that. They'll just live in that form or shape, and then they'll die after so many years.
Whatever. And ma'am, like once you had mentioned in the discussion that as and when the humans are evolving, at some point of time, we have contracts with animals that they would be serving us, and then at some stage, plants would be serving us throughout and all. So, ma'am, if suppose like if it is a soul plan only that one would be eating non-veg or like they would be living a life as a butcher or all sorts of things, and they would be dealing with killing animals on a day-to-day basis for whatever means of living. So, ma'am, will this create karma, or is it a part of, because they are doing it on a soul consciousness, at the level of soul consciousness? So will it be taken as a karma, or they are just following their soul plan?
See, karma is not bad. For a soul level, no, karma is not at all bad. Karma means there's a tracking system. Who's going to track in duality? You did this. Who's going to track that whether you did this part or no? And how will you know the holistic experience if you have not experienced this also, this side of the story and this side of the story? You've been a butcher, you killed an animal. Maybe you had to be an animal also to get killed. So you have, then the whole experience is understood. No? So that is what karma is tracking. Whatever it may be, karma is it's a tracking system so that it just keeps track whether you have taken all accounts into picture and now are you getting the holistic experience. It is like, which will help you to write your Akashic records the next time.
No, ma'am, like what I was thinking is, suppose like normally what happens when, what I have heard or what I have understood, that once we die, when
yes,
we are in that
when you're a butcher, it creates the karma. It creates the karma. No, there are two ways. I mean, see, in Bhagavad Gita, what it says is, if you're a butcher, but you are saying that, okay, I am not this body, but I'm anyway killing. That if you are in that level of awareness, if you are aware that you are not the body, but body is only a mechanism used to experience the thing, and then killing or not killing really does not matter to you, then there is no karma. because he's anyway transcended that state. But if a person is killing for pleasure or whatever it is, because that is his level of awareness, then that creates a karma. Because now he has to understand the other side of it, because now he was in pleasure, no? So he has to understand what is it, how it is going to create a problem in the other side also. Then that pleasure aspect is now removed.
Supposingly, if a soldier is killing as his duty, it will not create karma. But if a person is killing merely because of, if it's not a part of his duty, but if he did something wrong and if he wants to cover it or something, then it will create a karma. But if a soldier is killing as a part of his duty, then it will not create a karma. The same way as the butcher and all.
Yeah. See, it's a soul plan. To kill is also a soul plan.
Yes.
Killing the body is not a soul plan. Killing others can be a soul plan.
And ma'am, I have a few questions. Can I ask or later?
No. This is the forum. Ask.
Ma'am, I got to know about this yoga's changing in Untold Story of Sita only. Like pehle it was what was it? Satyug, then Dwapar Yug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, Kali Yug. And now they are saying that Kali Yug has almost ended and we are again shifting back to the closer to the sun. Ma'am, but like while reading Divine Design, so Divine Design is also following this change in Yuga path. Like if I try to align these two theories, yeah, because if we try to like align these two theories, like the thing which is happening in Divine Design and what we have learned, like in Holy Science also, although it went very over my head, but still I could grasp little bit of this Yuga change. So,
see, the thing about Yuga, everything is about evolution in consciousness. When you are in the 5D level, you are in that highest state. Then slowly, as Treta Yuga happened, Dwapar Yuga happened, Kali Yuga happened, you had literally shifted down to 3D. Okay.
So this is what Divine Designing is showing, that the earth was pulled
They're not
down.
calling it that, they're not saying the names, but then there's that shift in, drop in consciousness has slowly happened. Now,
so
now that you have, sorry?
So this was all planned only, na? Like as and when the earth will like go far and far away from the sun. So like 12,000 years or this 1,000 years. So as and when the earth will go as in like far and far from the earth. So the yug will change, Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug and Kali Yug. Then again when the earth will start moving towards the earth, towards the sun, then again we will start going towards the golden age. So
see, there is no, what we can say is Yug Parivartan pattern has been understood by, let's say, immortals and all of those things over a period of time. But what even for, let's say, with Pralay or something like that has to happen and everything has to come to a close, basically we'll go back to that same point. But what in many of the scriptures, they keep saying that it'll keep repeating again and again and again and again. This entire thing will keep repeating again and again and again. It'll repeat whenever the creator wants to contemplate him. He'll contemplate himself and he'll do a big bang and then sparks will come out. Every time that happens, every time the cycle will happen. But can we say that every time the cycle will happen or every time a different cycle will happen? Who are we to say that? We will not even remember all this. We can only possibly assume. But what I would say is, this drop in consciousness has happened. Now we are going back into consciousness. So we are just giving names of Dwapar Yuga and Treta Yuga and all of those things. We will definitely see that ascend. When we are going, we will definitely see a betterment in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, we are dropping a part of the Kali Yuga and then we are ascending into higher dimensional states. Means judgments were there. In 4D and all, judgments were there. Polarity was there. Duality was still there. Even in Dwapar Yuga, duality and all was there. Even in Rama Avatar, which is Treta Yuga, also duality was there. Only in Satya Yuga, there was no duality. So in the way the people predicted in the past, it will take so many thousands of years, they said. But now they have understood that it is not going to take thousands of years because, see, they told, right, from 3.0 to 3.1 or something like that, it took 6,000 years, 3,000
then
years.
1,000 years. And then
Then
1,000
after
years
that, it
from
basically
3.1
became
to
1,000
3.2.
years. So it is not permanent, or it is not like it is written in stone or something like that. This is exactly the time that it's going to take. It is not like clockwork, because we are all dynamic beings. We are not like static beings. We are not robots. We are constantly changing every single moment based on our decisions and all of those things. So everything is dynamic. So they may have written that each of these things will take so much of time, but it may not fall into that bucket, because it's dynamic. What they had written will also change and may shorter. So it's maybe it is like it came much earlier. The progress came much earlier because of the shift in consciousness, because so many light workers have been working, so much of meditations have been happening, so many things will constantly be happening, no? So which means every day in and day out, something or the other will change. So people will, the GFOL and all that, will decide based on ongoing practices and ongoing energy. They will keep measuring the Earth's energy field, they'll keep measuring people's energy field, and based on that they'll keep deciding. It is not written in stone that it's going to take so many thousands of years only. That is a new age concept. That is what is called new energy concept. We are not stuck to the old school methods.
No, ma'am, I read about this in like Holy Science by Yuktaswar Giri ji, who wrote this book. And then again in the Untold Story of Untold Story of Sita, they have not explained very clearly, very detailed.
No, in her epilogue or something, she's mentioned that we are going to Dwapar Yuga.
They have like she has explained a bit of it, not that very detailed, but in Holy Science, Sir has explained very deeply and in a very detailed way. And in PMC also, one PSSM master had explained all these concepts. So I was just trying to relate how does that theory, like it's not a theory obviously, but how does that part fits into like the 5D, then the fall of the earth, then everything. So I was just trying to correlate all these.
It's like that only, no? We have fallen into 3D. Now we are basically rising up. And rise cannot obviously directly go to Satya Yuga. It has to be gradual. And that gradual is Dwapar Yuga se jao, then Treta Yuga se jao, and then only you will hit Satya Yuga. And which is what Yukteswar Giri also has told.
And ma'am, like
and Kalki is the 5D consciousness. So as people get that 5D into their head only, it is Kalki consciousness, which means you have basically demolished the Kali inside you.
It's not that Kalki will come as a third person or in a body consciousness. It's inside us only. The moment when we raise our consciousness, then we have become Kalki. Like it's a sthiti. What I have.
It's a sthiti. It's not a person.
It's a sthiti. It's not a person that someone will come and save us, or like he will. It's basically in all of us. It's a state. It's a like sthiti. It's a condition in which we have raised our consciousness, and then we can, as and when we increase our consciousness, we automatically pull back the earth, something. And ma'am, in many places it's mentioned that form is shifting, not the conscious. Form is shifting to 5D. I don't exactly remember the page, but in many places,
form is shifting to 5D.
Form is shifting. So, ma'am, if Earth is shifting in form and we are also shifting in form, like our consciousness is increasing, but we are also shifting in form, as in physical form. So, ma'am, what I understood is if our physical form is changing, then we will have more DNA, more light in us, or whatever, all those things. So, how will what was the question then? Why
will you become a light body? How will you become a light body or singing?
Yes, and then 5D why level. Do we reach a consciousness, ma'am, and awareness? Like if
see, this is going to happen, no? At some point, you'll vibrate so much that you'll become invisible. You'll be able to invisibly move from one place to another place. Many Britharians do that. I know some Britharians. I've read about some Britharians who do that. because they practice many of these kinds of methods. They have literally worked on increasing the light into their body. So at that time, what happens? Body shifts from one dimension to another dimension also. Same, see, now the crystalline body and all is different. You forget about the 5D body. Now this 3D body is only ready to go to 5D level. So bodies,
Like
when body's frequency starts increasing, then whatever different conditions will change, and then your body will feel light, and then maybe you'll feel more glow around you. People will see more glow around you. People will get attracted to you, and then over a period of time, you'll also be able to apparate, which is become invisible and go from one place to another place. There are people, right? Neem Karoli Baba and all do that. Or many of our high dimensional beings do that. No, they are able to come into Mahavatar Babaji also. In many books we've seen that he appeared in front of somebody and then he was no longer there, types of thing.
Like Yukteswar Giriji also did. After dying, he came before Yoganandji after 3 months in flesh.
Yeah. So many people do that because they are able to control the vibration. They are only able to raise their vibrations at intent. They are only able to slow down the vibrations by intent. When they slow down, the physical body will become physical. When they increase the vibration, it will become light.
So, okay. I mean, what is photon belt? Like they say, the sun is in the photon belt now, so we don't need to go to the Himalayas. We don't need to sit and meditate for like thousands and thousands of years. 3 hours of meditation is enough to increase the.
One thing I think they said was because we are closer to the central sun, and because of that, all these frequencies are increasing. Which means because the Earth is now holding a lot of her light, Earth's quotient has increased. Earth's frequency has increased, which means she has gone to higher dimensions. She's moving closer to higher dimensions, which means there's probably a higher light that she's expressing out. So because of that higher expression of light, you are also able to experience that higher expression of light, and which in the past the expression was lower, which is why you had to individually work hard to generate light by yourself on top of what Earth gave. But now Earth only is pumping so much. Now you have to do very little to contribute more to that, and then maybe express yourself out.
And ma'am, Akashic records or like Chitragupta is basically subconscious mind, like whatever we have planned or whatever we have gone through or whatever is written, it's there in the subconscious mind, which is synonym to Akashic records.
Subconscious mind is not Akashic record. Subconscious mind can access Akashic. It's more of it is more like an energy thing that is, who knows, subconscious mind maybe also something like an energy at least. So no, I only know that it is an energy thing. It is energy. It's an energy. It is the records are present at an energetic level within your auric field, right? And you can just the HS can access it, and that comes in the form of light codes inside your DNA.
Ma'am, I was listening through one of the videos on PSM, PMC. So there, I think Suvi ma'am was saying, Chitragupt. Chitra is pictures, Gupt is, quiet. So basically, the subconscious mind is holding all the data of everything, and Akashic records is basically when you tap into your subconscious mind.
Subconscious mind is also the mind which the higher self, which is also like the higher self, I think. I mean, at that level, like the all-knowing kind of self. So it is at that level, if you're operating at a subconscious level, which is when you will also be like the 5D human only, no? You'll be able to access everything. Today we have a conscious mind that is not exactly aligned with the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is huge. It has the entire database.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think that there is not much clarity there as to how do I map that to the divine design. But if I get clarity, I'll let you know.
Thank you, ma'am. I finally got this printed and it's in my, physically it's with me today.
Yeah, that's better actually. And it's cheaper also if you print it like this.
Yes, ma'am, actually in like PDF now, it's difficult to write notes or whatever. So this book I can I can do whatever I want with it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Bindu.
Yes, sir. Smita, we were talking about the etheric body, right? Etheric body, isn't it outside our physical body?
It's not like outside, it's like all one within the other. Remember, there used to be one doll which children used to play. Right? One inside the other, one inside the other, one inside the other. Like something like that.
Okay. So I was under the impression that
The physical body is the inside-most part.
Oh, physical body is the inside-most part. Then the etheric body is outside us.
Yeah, outside us, but it is subtle. But what is visible is only the physical.
But the
all
photo
these
which
that are
you
outside
showed,
us are all very
the
subtle.
body is removing and the light is inside. So here the light is outside, the body is inside. That's what you are telling. The photo
What
which
I'm
you
saying is
shared
the
in the
physical
beginning,
body,
no?
there is a physical body. If the etheric body is connecting to it, it means that the light is now going to show around the physical body only, no? But it is connected to it means what? Now, the physical body is not here and the etheric body is not here. Okay, they are all merged with each other. One above the other, one above the other, kind of. It's a layer.
Yeah, understood. Yeah. Those are the auras, no? The auras are layer by layer, one layer.
Today I showed you that picture, right, before.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. There it is, the light is inside. The body is.
Sorry, what I meant was it is embedded. What I meant was that first, if the patterns come to you, it has to come through all those 7 layers and then it will affect the physical body. In that sense, the physical body is the last to get the information in terms of disease or anything. But yeah, what we are saying is right. It is all connected at an inner level. Connection wise, it is like that. Yes. I had imagined it from a disease perspective. Physical is the last to get it correct.
Okay. And the yugas you were discussing, no, Nidhi, and the yugas, it is like Satya Yuga, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali Yuga. Then again, it goes back to Satya Yuga. You are telling it is going reverse. Is it like that? Reverse?
See, most of the teachers have told it will go to Dwapar Yuga first, because how can you get to that Satya Yuga consciousness right from what you are?
That makes sense.
Logically speaking, you have to evolve to that state.
So we will be going like, it is like this. Again, from Kali Yuga, we'll be going to Dwapar, then Treta, and then Satya Yuga.
So we are moving towards Satya Yuga, but we may not be into Satya Yuga as of now.
And in the book, in the 2 groups of light workers, group 1, it says the majority are assisting from off the planet. Off the planet means it is like they are in the grid, in the 12D grid, but not physically on the planet.
Correct.
So these people, those avians, Palladians, so they are outside our solar system.
No, don't take physical. They can be right next to me also.
But then what is the meaning of off the planet?
Different dimension, not 3D, not third dimensional physical. They are in a different dimension.
Okay. So they meant off the planet is different dimension.
They are not sitting right next to me on a chair here.
Yeah, understood.
I mean, I can't see them physically.
Yeah. So off the planet doesn't mean
on the chair, but vibrating in a different dimension.
Okay. Here off the planet is not that physical 3D planet. It is some other frequency. It can be 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, whatever frequency,
Yeah.
but it will be in the planet only. So these Pleiadians, Antarians, Avians, and all of them are there now physically on the earth in different, the now moment. Like it is like this is the now moment in all dimensions.
They are very much present.
So yeah, that's what they are very much present on this planet only, but in the different dimensions. It is the now moment. So you said no, it is simultaneously everything is happening. So it is like that. So
Not like they're
simultaneously
physically
they are there.
existing on the planet. They are just in different dimensions, which means they are not on physical 3D Earth.
Yeah, that's what. They are not on the physical 3D Earth. They might be in the physical 5D Earth or 7D Earth or 9D Earth.
There is no physical 7D Earth, 9D Earth and all. Because
Yeah,
it has
till
not
7
evolved to
only
that
you
stage
have
only.
physical. Then after that you are not physical.
So which
Then
means I'm in 3D physical body.
okay.
They are in some other dimension. I am living, standing on a physical plane of the 3D Earth, let's say. But they may be existing off the planet, means they are not even physically standing on the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
They may just be vibrating at a different dimension, which I may not be able to see because they are not on a different, they are on a different dimension. So for me to see them and talk to them and all, I have to go to that dimension. So when will I go to the dimension? When my body is on the physical plane, but when my astral body has now ran away to some other dimension.
Okay.
So physically they are not with me. Astrally in some other dimension they are with me. So I have to travel to that level to be able to see them or meet them, take some help from them.
So now they are not physical means then where will they be? In which dimension? See,
They are vibrating in some other level,
some
fast
other
vibration.
level. So we are not able to see them. That is that I can understand. So how do we know that they are there in that dimension?
Because somebody else has told that they are there, or maybe they are in the books, they have told me they are there. But if you need proof, you need to get to that level.
Okay, so all these Pleiadians, all those people, all are like light systems. That's what we are told, no? These light systems. So they are simultaneously existing everywhere around us.
See, when we see a star, we see a physical star.
Yes.
But we don't see anybody who's a part of that physical star. So like that only you will see Pleiadians also, maybe like a star or something like that. But then it doesn't mean anything to you, no?
So that doesn't
They are
mean that
assisting
they
you
are
means
on this
they are
physical
giving
3D
their
earth
knowledge to you when you go to them.
That's
or
what.
when you are able to access to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm also trying to understand. See, they are there in some other star, not on this earth.
What proof do you want?
No, not proof. I'm just trying to understand that they are physical. See, these are light systems.
Nobody is physical. Only Earth is in Earth only this human body is physical. Nobody else is physical.
See, Pleiadian is in one star system. Somewhere
They're
in
all
the
light.
sky.
They're all like light bodies.
Yeah, light bodies. That's why we are not able to see. Because we are light, but not light bodies. We are physical bodies. They are light bodies. They are somewhere in the star system. So that doesn't. So it doesn't. So they are not physical. They are not. Even though they are light bodies, they are somewhere else and not on this physical earth. I am asking. So they are somewhere else in the sky. They are somewhere else.
Why should they be in the sky? They may be right next to you. But they may not be in a physical body. Everything coexists. All the dimensions coexist in the same. Even on this, there may be higher dimensions operating. Earth, if this is vibrating in the 3D physical. This is also vibrating in the 5D. This is also vibrating in the 7D. Can you understand that? The same physical body is also vibrating in the 5D. But you can't see that body.
Yeah.
Why? Because your eyes and your frequency is connected only to this 3D.
3D.
So similarly, they don't have a 3D form like this. They have a form that you can't see. This part is anyway skipped, but they have a form that you anyway can't see. If this object was only existing in 5D, then you can't see this object.
Yeah, understood that. That part I can understand. I'm just trying to know where they
Right.
are.
No,
That's all.
let's say
They
that
are on the earth.
next to you. If they are standing right next to you, can you understand?
No, we can't see them
They are
because they are in a different dimension.
floating next to you.
Yeah,
Energy,
they
no?
are in different. Yeah, they are in different dimension. That so that we don't see them. So that's
So-
what I'm asking. They are on the earth or somewhere else. They are
It
on
doesn't
somewhere
matter, no?
else.
It
Doesn't matter. I'm
doesn't
just
matter.
asking.
Ma'am, can I say something?
Who's this?
Nidhi.
Ha, Nidhi.
Ma'am, Dipti ma'am once explained this very beautifully. I'm sure you have also listened. Like suppose a fan is moving. A fan is moving at a very high speed. Then we are
That
not
she
able to.
understands. That she
Then what?
understands, but she's asking, are they outside the earth or inside the earth?
No, they can be in front of you also. But
Huh.
because they're vibrating at a very high speed like the fan, so
Yes,
you
yes,
can't
yes.
see her.
Yes, I can understand that, Nidhi. Thank you for explaining. Smita is also
Sorry.
explaining the same thing. I'm just wondering where they are. That's all. I know
can be
they are somewhere.
They may be
somewhere.
coming from a
I'm
high. They may
asking
be.
whether they are on this Earth planet or somewhere else in the sky. That's all I am asking. I am
They
not
can
asking
say hi
anything
to
else.
you at
They
this
can
very
be
moment.
anywhere.
But
May I add something? I'm Sonia Malik speaking.
Yeah.
Ma'am, what happened? So many, like twice or thrice when I was meditating. When meditating, I go through Brahmarana. Over there, I went to, like you see, dimensions. Exactly at this now moment, when my astral consciousness went out, I saw other dimensions. Exactly one upon the other. Like it is not here, but astrally I went, like it's exactly above us and at this now moment. I'm not able to explain, but it's very beautiful, ma'am. Like the astral body goes rushing like a arrow, and then while moving, if you see left right, you see the worlds. There are many types of worlds, and if we it's just like trajectory, something moves out with great speed, and if you still don't, if you want to stay somewhere, you just have to think and you stop in that world. And if you still keep on moving, you can go to stars, planet, like exactly above you in the now moment. Oh, everything is there parallel. I am not able to
See,
explain.
let's say,
Like,
for example, thank you, Sonia. That was actually a beautiful explanation.
Nice.
Bindu, to answer your question, even if the Palladians are, let's say, in the fifth dimensional, let's say in the seventh dimensional space, and they are occupying some star system or something like that, they can move in and out of 7D star system, and they can move in and out of the 3D plane also, because they can they may be right next to you, but since you can't connect to them, they will have to connect to you when you are at that level, and the only way you will be at that level is at the astral body level. And technically speaking, we are never alone. I've sent that picture many times. We are never alone. We are never alone. Even when we are taking bath, we are not alone. There are people watching us, but they don't have an understanding of physical body, so there is no shame in that. Okay, so technically, right next to you also, there are many other dimensions operating. And if they are higher than you, they can see you. But you can't see them. Did I answer your question? Something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Manjula?
Thank you.
Hey, Smita.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of questions, Smita. The first one is the two groups of light workers in the group 2. And the book has been told that so the role of the HTCs chooses for the light work is encoded into their blueprint as part of Akashi's record and held within the human's DNA. The blueprint can be accessed at any now moment. How and when they access this blueprint depends on what they created within their Akashic record. So I was in understanding that our whole life will runs on the blueprint. But for the light workers, it's not like that because they get to decide it when they access their blueprint.
See, sometimes as a light worker, you may also be a person who will be, let's say, an energy healer. Energy healers can be also people like who do light working, light based healing. Also, many people do. When you do light based healing and all, you are channeling a higher dimensional being through your body, and healing is going through like this. But how will you even know that you need to get to one such profession? System has to upgrade, no? Like your skills have to upgrade. You need to know what is energy. You need to know the blah, blah, blah. All those things you need to know, no? So you'll go through some things like that. So then in between, at some point, you'll have a higher intuition which says, oh, go study under her. Then something will feel like calling you. And then you'll probably go under, let's say, some teachers who will teach you such art, such skills and all that. So they will have such mechanisms to go, which may not necessarily be for their evolution, which will be for a collective, let's say, healing other kind of HTCs.
Okay.
At that time, they will also be in a position to evolve themselves to rather higher, to get themselves to a higher frequency, so that they can understand themselves. They can read their past lives. They can read this, that. They can understand their own Akashic records. That should be a part of the plan if they have to go through that, because reading that also should give them some information about how they have to lead today's life. But if that information, if reading that is not necessary, but you're already having enough information from HS and all to go on this path, because in this, there is no plan of seeing your past life or something like that, then no need to read that Akashic records, because whatever is coming through, if you're trusting and going through, if there was no plan to read and all, then it will never get the opportunity to read your record at all.
But is it not like we have to exhaust the blueprint at the end of the life, Smita?
Yeah, it may be, but you may not finish off everything. At that point, you will again take part to you will again take into another body to finish off some of those things. You'll redo your Akashic record with the content from the previous one and all that.
But here they have told in the last paragraph, if they do not complete their blueprint in the lifetime, they can choose to incarnate with same blueprint or new blueprint, or no longer incarnate. So that means they decide to not to
no longer incarnate if you don't have a desire to come back. But if you are now stuck with the body consciousness and all that, you will be like wanting her to come back. But if they are at the state where they don't want to come back also, and they're at that level, I'm anyway not a body, I'm done kind of thing, maybe they'll not incarnate. But very rarely people don't incarnate when they are having the karmic cycle.
Okay, this makes sense.
They may choose to pause for a certain time, but they'll have to finish off that emotional body. All the subtle bodies have to fall at some point, including the causal body. Causal body will have the reason for why you have to incarnate.
Okay.
Rather, some reasons for you to reincarnate into the body. All those not desires, more of that, the body consciousness aspects has to drop to a large extent. Emotions, mental beliefs, all of those things have to drop. Until then, it's like a record system which will keep you in 3D to say, okay, you still haven't finished your portions and you still haven't passed the third standard. So until that passing is happening, you will still have to keep coming back to third standard to finish off your arrears.
And the last question is, they're talking about the human channel and the energetic field. Both of them were to experience the consciousness. The only difference, they're saying that the channel is going to be more like a funnel, where the energetic field is going to be more like a 360 degree around us. Is it right, Smita?
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah.
And is it our etheric body and soul are same, or it's different?
No, it's not the same. Soul is more of spirit is what the God created. Okay. After that, whatever God thought about in terms of how I want to experience life and all, those thoughts has to be held in some container. That became a soul at a lower level, somewhere at a lower level. And that soul eventually had to vibrate in lower consciousness, lower vibrations. So that eventually became IAP, and that became HS and all of those things. Only a portion of that HS has now come into the physical body. But it has no role to play except for being an observer. Even in 5D, even in 3D. In 5D, that observer was able to, communicate properly with HS. But in 3D, that observer has no communication with HS. Moreover, it is feeling like I'm lost. And that is why that confusion, where am I kind of confusion is there. So this lost feeling will take it into various different levels in 3D. And over time, it will eventually gain through wisdom. And over time, it will connect to the higher self.
Okay. So in that case, the spirit, the soul is at a bigger picture, whereas etheric body or HS is going, I can take as a portion of it.
Yeah. So you can imagine etheric body like a container, like a bag. Okay. That bag is now holding that small portion that is connected to the body.
Okay. Thank you, Smita.
Yeah, Sangeeta?
Hello.
Yeah.
So it's still not very clear for me what is inside what. So inside is physical body, then there is etheric body, and then on top of it is the subtle body. Or in which sequence do they exist? Or they are merged within each other?
Typically, you can think that there are 7 layers. Okay. And one layer is at a higher dimensional level. It is not like they are all in the same dimension. They are all at different vibrations. One level down, one level down, one level down, one level down. Body is at the last level. Imagine it more like a steps. Then you'll be able to understand. If you imagine more like seeing like this, because in a 2D image, you'll be able to see one layer next to each other like this. But
Yeah,
actually,
like
they are
onion
not one
layers.
next to each other like this. They are, even if you see them one next to each other like this, you can imagine them as being, let's say, behind you, big. Let's say there's one big one like this, subtle. Then the one next one is smaller than that. Next one is smaller than that at a frequency level. Next one is smaller than that. Next one is smaller than that, which is at a physical body. But if I, let's say, see my ancestors or somebody, where am I coming from like this, I'll see probably somebody next to me is huge compared to me, vibrating at a higher level compared to me. That guy is vibrating at a higher level compared to that guy. That guy is vibrating at a higher level compared to this guy. But when you see like this, from an imagination point of view, you see them as layers. Imagine if when people are standing and doing Bharatanatyam, all in one single line like this. One does like this, one like this. Then you see only one person in front of you. But there'll be many hands going like this, no?
So the one person that I see is the physical form, and I see the physical form when I am in 3D. When my frequency raises, I'm able to see the person behind the physical form person.
Right.
Okay. But they
it's
exist
all, they
even
all
in 3D,
exist.
all the layers for humans.
They are not existing in 3D. 3D dimension, they are existing in higher dimensions. They have connection. They can connect, which means there is a channel to communicate. If
For
everybody
3D
was in
human,
3D, then if everybody was in 3D, then why do we need different bodies? Because that highest guy cannot vibrate in the lower level. So he has created himself as a lower vibration. His entire portion cannot come down into that level. A small portion of that has come to some level. A small portion of that has come to that level. A smaller portion has come to that level. A smaller portion of that has come to the level that is connecting to body. But body has been specifically designed for 3D. Body is not in multiple different levels. Body has to go to multiple different levels. It has to learn to vibrate at each of those levels.
So for a 3D human, there is a 3D physical form. That 3D human will also have an etheric body. He will also have subtle bodies.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All these
In
bodies
this-
are vibrating at different dimensions. Different subtle levels, which you can't see, which this
So
eyes is not designed to see.
So a 3D human's subtle physical body might be vibrating at a different frequency compared to the same 3D human's subtle body. Is that what you mean?
Yes, this is denser. That
Yeah.
is why you are able to see it as physical. That is lighter. That is vibrating at a higher rate. Those bodies are vibrating at a higher rate, which is why you can't see them.
Okay.
But somebody else can see them.
So now when we read conscious connection, it sounded very similar to when we were reading about subtle bodies and subtle bodies, how we are experiencing external experiences. Because external experience are energy and consciousness at the end of the day, and they are also experienced in two ways, either by the electric field around the body or through the human channel.
First, it will come into the energy field. The human channel will receive it and then translate it into words, informations, images, or something like that.
So both of them are similar, right? Or
it's meant for different purposes. It's a receiver. Energy field is a receiver. Receiver of energy. But it is going to help you filter out what you want. Not what somebody else may send you whatever information, but how will you understand that information unless it is translated into emotions that you are aware of, belief systems that you are aware of. So all this is now happening at that energy field level.
Energy field level or the human channel level?
Energy field will basically bring you what you asked for. Whatever you sent out, only you will get it through the energy field. The energy field is now going to because if you're vibrating, energy field will show what you're vibrating at. If there is a higher vibrational information that is coming through, it will not allow it to pass. It will step it down into whatever you can understand. So that is why, which means he might be telling something to you, you cannot understand it, because that it is only, you can understand only what you can understand. So it is going to handle all those kinds of filtering. And then further, it will get filtered into through your emotional body, through your mental body, and then it will be received into the channel, into those appropriate levels, and then you will actually be able to get it at the physical level. Express it at the physical level.
At one point, I also read that experience in the form of consciousness should be felt along the channel. If we don't feel it throughout the channel, that means there is a possibility of a clog somewhere.
It is not like at a 5D level, what used to happen, whatever used to come in, used to be felt at all the chakras. Every chakra has a role to play for each and every thought. Emotional experiences are different at each and every chakras. So they'll feel all of those things, and then they'll also be able to send it out, which means there is no clogging. But at a 3D level, it may not be experienced at each chakra because there are clogs, and you may not be vibrating at higher chakras and all. So in that sense, you may be only operating at the lower 3 chakras. In 3D, there's a lot of differences. In 5D, it used to come in, go out. Then you'll act like a conduit. But in 3D, there is not much of a conduit business happening.
So in 3D, if there's a clog in the first 3 chakras, some consciousness entered, it could not pass through, then it remains there. That emotion which is not expressed remains there, or it clogs it even further, or goes to the physical organs and create diseases.
It clogs.
It
It
clogs.
clogs means what? It has not been released. Now, what will happen further? The chakra can stop, they say. Chakra can stop, they say. Or what they also say is, if the chakra stop, not stop, whatever, clog can also affect in the other adjacent organs. What is a chakra? Ultimately, it is reflecting your nerves and blood flowing and all of those things in those nerves. Because the pressure and energy and all is coming from these nadis only, right? So if that nadis have certain energy problems, then what will happen? This is what will happen.
Okay. Today we also read about dream state and astral travel during the dream state. Sometimes after sleeping, when we wake up, we are able to remember the dreams that we had. But that doesn't mean they were any related to astral travel, or
Yeah, everything is related to
it's-
astral travels only, but
it is.
some you probably
Okay.
choose to remember because it was very, very, what do you say, vivid or something like that. Maybe you'll choose to remember some of these things, but typically it will fade over a period of time.
And if a dream is as simple as eating an ice cream, what is the astral travel here?
See, that meaning of dreams and all is another topic altogether. So that probably needs another reading of another book or something. It may not be very conclusive if I tell you the dreams, if I interpret those dreams and all, because I'm only a reflection. So it's best that you read some books related to that, and then you will be able to interpret it differently because it is coming through your energetic channel. Sorry, energy field. It has to be interpreted through you differently. I cannot interpret it for you because that will again go through my filtration, no? And then you'll again filter it through yours. So it's not very right.
And there is also a dreamless state during the sleep.
Yeah, that is
What
further
happens?
a thoughtless state, a dream state, and then there is a shunya state, basically an unconscious state. So where there are no dreams also, where there is only thoughtless state, it happens only 2 hours in the night, not more than that. No, only half an hour to 45 minutes or something like that. It is a very, very short state, but it is a very effective state. Oh, that was 2 hours. I don't remember whether somebody Prabodh Master had told this, whether it was half an hour or 1 hour, 2 hours. I don't remember.
But very short.
Very short time. It was a very short time. It will be a very short time. And then you'll get the highest energy and highest charging happens at that time only. Because there is no dream game and all that. Nothing is working at that time. Everything is still. You're in that state of that void state. You're in that state of that source. So when the void happened, no, that kind of state you are. But
So
which is why during meditation, you tap that state. That is the highest void state you're going to experience in meditation, because your consciousness meditatively went to that state. Which anyway, otherwise you'll sleep. Every day when you sleep, you go to that state. Everybody goes to that state.
There was also a discussion somewhere, maybe in the Holistic Buddha or somewhere, that if we are lying down and then we are connecting to the source during deep sleep,
I think we spoke about that. It was mentioned in the this one Gudakesha. Prabodh Master had mentioned that when you sleep, I think even Patriji had mentioned somewhere, if you sleep and recharge yourself, you are actually you are sleeping a spine like an animal. So the amount of recharging you get is only 50%. But when you are actually sitting and meditating like this, even if you sleep, your energy intake is far more higher than when you sleep and sleep like this, horizontal and then sleep. Sitting and sleeping is far more efficient than sleeping and receiving.
Lying down and sleeping.
Yeah, lying down and receiving. And then sitting and meditating is even more efficient compared to sleeping.
So is it a practice that we sit and sleep?
Gudakesha teaches you to do that. Because if you sit and sleep, you will anyway sleep in the night, but your body, sometimes postures and all that is not, your body is not used to it, right? So yoga nidra, there are many things that you'll have to do to get the body accustomed to it, because you've been sleeping, or your belief systems have been so strong that you'll have to sleep horizontally, right? So again, to change that belief system, it will take some time, but it is not impossible. I've done it for 1 year.
I tried few days, but it didn't work out. I did
You should
sleep,
drop your
but
logical mind to do all that.
I did sleep while I was sitting, but I was very tired and I couldn't do the further activities of the
You'll have
morning.
to also do a lot of relaxation in the morning also. You'll have to compensate that with a lot of relaxation in the morning also. Over a period of time, it will become natural. Relaxation will become very natural to your body. Then only you will actually see the benefits.
So I tried only for 3 days. Should I try longer to actually?
Yeah, they teach for 41 days. They make you do for 41 days.
Okay.
It's, I think now it's, they have opened up. Gudakesha has now opened up. If you want, you can sign up.
Okay.
To the
Where
methods.
can I sign up?
I'll send it to
Okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be all. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much for joining, asking beautiful questions, mind-boggling questions. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye. Take care. Be blessed.